Hello everyone, this is Jess. Yeah, I have two crazy piles of journals in front of me. So today's plan is to do a current plan for my 2025 journals and how that compares to what I'm doing for 2024. I don't know how much of this gonna be the same. Will I ever change my idea for the next 2 months? I guess we will see. But I want to do a very brief flip through of my current planners. I'm not sure if I want to do a more detailed one later in the year because usually holiday season are kind of messy, especially for this year. Yeah, let's first talk about the work planner I'm using. So currently I have been using the this Tiny Dragon planner for 2024. I do like it very very much, and I think it's a very good idea to keep all my work related thing in one place. And I do use the note pages to take some notes during work, and or have some brief meeting with different people just to jot it down. Some information that I need to refer to in later time. I think this is a very nice size and compact. I can take even if I may go to a conference. I don't think I will do very much in the next year, but I do think this is a very very good version of Hobonichi Weeks. I think it basically tell you what year it is by looking at the cover. So this year is the year of dragon, and next year will be the year of snakes. And yeah, so I get the 2025, and you can see this is a mega version of the 2025 weeks. And yeah, I asked for more note pages in this planner just simply because I think it just allow me to just write more, because I feel like especially at the beginning of this year I'm not utilized note pages very well. One of the reasons is because I do have the kind of the scare of scarcity, maybe, that I don't want to run off the note pages at the end of the year, but I ends up not using a lot of them. So having a mega just allow me to be less stingy when I'm using this notebook. Yeah. And the other weeks I was using this year was this there's a Hiroku Tabata planner, like a weeks that's with the sparkles and the small animals. As you can see, like these two covers are both from Uran, so they have PVC but also some leather lining in the middle, so they allow me to put in some stuff in the sleeve. And so for me this year, I use this as my so-called hobby journal. So I started using this journal back in like roughly this time last year, because as one of my favorite artists, Tammy from Shiny, had a comeback at the end of 2023. So I just changed some of the note pages into weeks version and started using it back then. And when I started this, I didn't expect a lot of things changes. Well, not only in his career, but also my way of approaching my hobby. As you can see that at first, I think I have been writing quite a lot. And then I become less and less. I still keep up with all the activity he has been doing, but like I just don't have a lot of time to really work in this planner. So I gradually changed this planner into a picture heavy planner. I just take a lot of different pictures in it, and you can see it's quite bulking up right now. But I'm glad that this cover can still hold up. And it seems to working fine. I think the binding probably will hold out very well. And then I realized that I don't have a planner that dedicated to the media consumption I have outside of like K-pop or like Taemin specifically, or Shiny, or some of the artists I have been focusing on. I kind of don't have place to write about these. So that's kind of what I want to do. Is the other weeks I prepared for the next year. So this is the through the purple what? through the purple nights. Yes, of course. So this is through the purple night, and I plan to use this as my media journal. So if I not only the stuff I'm most interested in, but also when I read a book or I watch a movie, or most likely I listen to a new album, I will just put my notes here. I think that's probably a better way to, not a better, but just a different way to record the things that happen to me in my life. Yeah, and the other week's notebook I used this year was a what I call the kid journal. So this called a Hanabi set, I think. This week's. Yeah, it's from Tomomi Nishikawa. Yeah, I really like this and I use it quite a bit. So I just basically record a lot of different things that happen to both of my kids. And yeah, I think at the beginning of this year, I try to keep some trackers about how they eat and how they sleep, things like that. And I gradually feel like they have just more and more things I want to put down, especially when my older one is going to kindergarten. I just feel like there are just way more notes for me to take, and I kind of change it into like a weekly spread of one kid on one side. And I start to think that maybe it will be a better idea for me to keep this in a journal where I can refer to in the long term. So I bought a 5-year journal for the coming 5 years, which I plan to use as my kid journal. And also this is A5 version. It's quite big. And I already started to use it. And of course, I want to see how this format will work for me. So basically, just about the same amount of space, I will use them to write down some of the notes I want to put down on the empty side. So if you don't know the layout of a Hobonichi 5-year journal, so basically on the right hand side, you will have the same day, but split into 5 years, and then you will have an empty page on the right hand side. So I'm basically just using just about the same amount of space on the right hand side just to write down some notes. I want to keep track of their activities and growth and progress and things that happen that have fun. And I do think that A5 is a better size for me compared to the weeks. I can write larger. I think that helps me a lot for me, especially if I want to review what I have been written down. It just on this size, it's just kind of hard for me to read from time to time. And I think let's talk about should I say the elephant in the room? But basically, one of the big controversy about the Hobonichi paper quality for the 2025 planners and journals. So this is all based on my own experience, so I can only speak for myself. I do think there are probably a batch differences between different planners, but this is the information I have so far. So I didn't test out of the pens, or like the pen I tested on the planner itself, other than the pen that I actually use in there. I will talk about that. But this is their tester paper. I took this out to do some paper testing. I figured this probably will perform the same as the whole notebook. And I also pull out this snake toy wicks just to use the same pens to write on it, and I also use the current 2024 A6 Tetra to test my pens and paper quality. So everything I use and tested are on these two specific planners. So as far as I know, the 2024 planners, especially the original A6, has already been changed into the Sanson paper. So maybe some of the weeks were still the old Tomoe River paper, so they might hold up better, but these are already the new Sanson paper. And to compare it with the other notebook that I have with the Sanson paper was the Hibino from Midori. So this is also used Sanson Tomoe River paper. My conclusion is this 5-year seems to have the most problem in my swatches, compared to the Wicks, which looks totally fine in my opinion for all of the pens I have used, as well as the 2024 A6. They have significant amount of ghosting, which is kind of expected, and that doesn't really bothers me. But if you compare these two, which I got both for 2025, I think some of the more obvious ones is the Pilot Black ink. So this is the Pilot Black ink in a medium vanishing point. So it's right here on this paper and right here on this one on the 5-year. And if you see it from the back, so I think the wicks have no issue whatsoever, but the 5-year kind of have enough like a spread of the ink. I would consider this blisu. And and also the Pilot Shikiori Yamabudo is one of the other ink I test are kind of sad. But this is somehow a ink that's kind of more easy, prone to blisu. They penetrate the paper easier compared to the other inks. About the brush pens, I think the Tombow was not the worst, but if you don't do it to write it down with very thick strokes, I think it's okay. But what I tested out are some of not only limited to fountain pens, but some of the brush pens as well. So I think the Sailor Shikiori is not the worst. It's okay. And the Pentel, I think the Pentel Touch Sign Pen is all right too. So I mean, I don't know if this kind of bleed through or show through is problematic for your liking, but I do see almost the same amount of bleed through for the Habino book as well. Yeah. One of the things I noticed is because it was for the 5-year journal, I'm more interested in using some of the more waterproof ink. I'm more interested to see how they perform in the paper, on the paper. So I don't have all of them, but I do have a few popular ones. The Diatramantis document ink in dark blue has quite a bit of bleed through. It's the same for my Habino. When I first started to use it, I realized I noticed the same thing. It might not be the biggest problem if I use this ink for all of my pages, but it does bleed through. Yeah, and the other ink, those that are pigmented or like supposed to be waterproof, I tested are the Noodler La Renee Mauve. It's not the worst. The nib was thin enough for it to not cause too big of a problem. And surprisingly, I think one of the better ink to use in this book is actually the Sailor Blue Black, or what is it called? Subuku? Yeah, so the Sailor Blue Black pigmented ink. And the Platinum Carbon Black is not the worst. And granted, I use a extra fine nib in Preppy to test it with. But in my opinion, these two have the amount of bleed through these two pen has are not big enough for me to consider not usable. And if I can show you one of the pages I write in. Well, I have been using the Sailor Blue Black pigmented ink in my current notes for the past few years. Yeah, I mean, I think this amount of show through is okay for me to deal with. They're not. I can handle this if the paper quality looks like this. But unfortunately, I specifically got the Sakura Macron pens. For this notebook, it seems that it might have some bleed through, although the current one I have are already pretty skinny. Yeah, I don't test them in here. Well, maybe I do. Sakura Pigma Micron. Yeah. They have like maybe a little bit, but if I want to use a more juicier version of this pen, it may have more significant bleed through. Okay. I hope I have explained this enough to let you understand the paper situation of the planners, but yeah, that's kind of the situation here. Yeah, and since I have pulled this out, so I'm still working with this Habino book, and as you can see, I do have quite a bit of empty pages in between here and there. I'll keep on just writing in this notebook and do like a diary style of journaling in this notebook. I did get a Mina Pohone zip cover, and I find this pretty suitable for for the Hibino, it can zip up like this. Oh, oopsie. And then this is a bookmark. My mom got for me. Yeah, I should put it inside this notebook instead of letting it hang outside. Yeah. Okay. What's next? Oh, I think next is something I kind of want to figure out with my new planners. So I use the Sterling Ink A5 Common Planner compact version for this year, specifically for their weeklies. I really like the weekly in this book. And I also have this Hobonichi original A6 as my daily log. So I think I want to keep it in a way that I could contain as much information that I want to put down in these notebooks, and I do find out that I have some overlapping information on these notebooks, and also these empty note pages are kind of I cannot utilize this very well, so it ends up being more like an ink swatch, pen log, ink log, or like a list I put down here and there just to do some recording, and I just don't use them as intended, I may say. So for me, this kind of ink log can easily transfer to a A5 notebook or any kind of notebook. I do have a TN passport here. It's completely set up and empty at this point. But I think the A6 size is great, but if I want to make them more, I wouldn't say like easy to use, but it's more like just have more information that compact together. I decided to use the AVAC for the next year for this kind of daily log. I haven't opened my 2025 AVAC yet. I kind of want to set it up when I really need to set it up, so it's still sealed. But I do have a 2023 here just to talk about how I plan to use it. And so right here, the perpetual calendar, or like what they call the checklist or tracker list here, I plan to record all my purchases, especially the online order I made here and there. And then at the bottom, I will do some monthly budget summary. Just keep track of my different accounts information. I think that will be an easier way to have them all in the same place. And I will never use a tracker efficiently in this kind of format. Sterling Ink has something very similar to this in their common planners, so something like this. I just cannot keep track of anything here. So maybe like a tracker on the weekly page will be more useful, but at least for me, a tracker in here is not going to be effective. So that's what information I plan to put in here. And then on the monthly page, because all of my schedule related thing will be predominantly in my work planner, if it's not on my phone digitally, I plan to record the weather, my meals, and if I have any kind of symptoms or health related stuff in the monthly page. I think those are some of the focus I have been doing in my other planners in 2024. That's kind of what I plan to use these monthly pages as. Or yeah, I think those are probably will be the thing I put in here. Maybe my kids' health related stuff as well, their growth chart. I will put them in here first, and then maybe at the end of the year or periodically, I may transfer them into the 5-year journal because they do have a yearly summary page at the end where, yeah, like the bookmark. Want to remember this. Or here, I may section out part of the page just to do a quick, like summarize their growth here. Maybe that's kind of my plan at this moment. Yeah, and of course I will be utilizing their weeklies, just like what I've been doing right now to do the daily log or activity tracker. And for the daily pages, I decided to transfer everything here to here because I do feel like I sometimes will do a bullet journal kind of information dump here, but sometimes I will just have a small paragraph about things that are happening in certain days. So that's my plan for this. I may call it the daily log part of my journal. I think that's pretty much conclude the essentials that I will be using for the next year. And after that, I realize I do have some of the notebooks that it seems like I have nothing to do with. These two A6. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what will be the best way to do with these. I plan on keep both of them simply because I'm not the kind of person like to sell stuff unless I really determined and I really think that would be a better way to sell them instead of keeping them. I kind of started to do this like from the past weekend, just to do some simple doodle in this Kimber A6. Because these two are both, I wouldn't say like a hardcover, but it's not that flexible. So I try not to put too much ephemera, stickers, or photos in it. So yeah, I'm not a very good artist at all. I cannot draw at all. So I just try to doodle a little bit of different things and here and there just to train my fingers to have better pen control. And I do have little kids at home. I think that could be a small activities we can do together. And for this, yeah, I still haven't figured out what to do with it yet. One idea is I may just use this as a stream of consciousness. Well, or like I will just use it as a catch-all, simplified version of things I can write about later in my different journals. But it seems like a chore. Maybe that could be done in my current Habino, where I do have plenty empty pages to do those kind of things with. So we'll see. But I do like this cover enough to just keep it this way. Even if I'm not gonna use it this year, I may find a way to use it in the future. Just like I do have this week's and several 2024 weeks that I haven't even opened. I just think those are very pretty notebooks to have. I don't know if that's something good to keep in my collection, but yeah. So with that, I think if you have some suggestions, feel free to comment. And if you have some ideas about different ways I can organize and use my planners, feel free to comment. But yeah, so with that, hope you have a wonderful week or day or weekend or night. Bye.